SPORE is amazing and it has really piqued my interest in short films. Well, that's great. Short films are great. It's such a vague story. What was your inspiration? Well, I came to you and I was like, hey, what can we do for, like, super cheap that doesn't require a lot of people?
Yeah.
I think you were the one that was like, well, what about sci-fi? And I was like, sure.
I wanted there to be a first-person element, but wanted to justify it in a way other than, like, I'm vlogging.
Right.
Because I knew that it would be fairly cheap to do, so I was like, okay, here's this, like, transmission from space.
Mm-hmm.
And, this is not... Maybe if I just sort of...
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Maybe really get it in... I'm so bad at this.
No, you're not. You're doing so good. You're doing great.
I do like my combination of, like, blue, black, and silver. It feels sort of, like, swirly.
Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, I don't know. Getting the Mod Podge, like, even is maybe difficult.
Yeah. I'm gonna be covered in glitter for,
As
like, weeks.
Everyone should be all of the time.
So my inspiration was Mary-Kate wants me to write something that can be kind of cheap, and I don't want it to be exactly like everything else.
Yeah.
So let's try for a genre. And then I'd actually already written a version of the scene in the cell.
Oh, interesting.
Like in a feature.
I didn't know that.
And I cut it from it because it didn't fit into what I had written.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I have this, like, scene, so maybe I'll just build something around it. And I changed it a little, obviously, for the story, and...
That's awesome.
So that was that.
What was the, like, reasoning behind the sort of Shakespeare... I don't want to say themes, but, like...
Yeah.
Perry is sort of loosely inspired by the idea of Perdita.
Yeah.
Being lost, yes. I'm going to speak for you.
No.
Cal.
I mean, Cal is definitely from Caliban in The Tempest.
Yeah.
Which I was in The Tempest when I was a child in 6th grade.
In 6th grade?
In 6th grade.
Pretty intense.
We did a middle school The Tempest. I was Gonzalo and I was Trinculo the Jester.
Oh, okay.
So it was a weird...
Look at you.
But I just remembered that scene because I had to memorize the dialogue of the, like, I'm a fish, whatever.
Oh, yes.
So that was that. I was just like, oh, I like Caliban.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make a character kind of like Caliban.
I think it's super rad.
Yeah.
That you did.
That was the whole thing.
Very cool.
Actually, the reason that I was like, hey, Miles, do you want to, like, maybe... so our director, Miles, is just, like, a friend of mine that I worked with.
He's great.
At Circle of Confusion, and he's wonderful. But the reason I was like, hey, maybe you should direct this is because he, like, immediately picked up on all the Shakespeare stuff.
When he read it?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, you get it. Okay.
That's cool.
We need a director.
That's really cool. You want to do
you
it?
wanna?
And he was great.
Heck
I would
yeah.
totally work with him again.
Again, riveting.
It is riveting. That's what Craftversations is all about.
Rivets.
Rivets. Somebody, I think, asked for your... Well, I don't want to butcher it. By somebody, I mean Casey.
She wanted my PayPal, didn't she?
Yeah. She says, discuss Robert Pattinson.
Oh.
Don't you like him?
Yeah.
Or did you? Yeah.
I do.
You can. I'm not mad at you about it.
Yeah. He's my number one.
He is your number one.
I know, it's weird, right?
No. He's a lot of people's number one.
I've never, like, I don't think I've seen a movie that he's been in other than Twilight, which
really?
I didn't...
What about Harry Potter?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the only 2 movies of his that I've seen. I don't really care about him as an actor. I just think that he's so funny.
He is funny.
He seems like a weird, nice guy.
Weird, nice guy.
And those are my 2. I like weird.
And nice.
Weird and nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Those are good qualifications.
So.
I totally back you up on that.
Thank you.
He's not my fave, but I can totally see where that comes from. I feel like this is not going to be straight, but maybe I'm just going to go with it. Maybe I'm just not going to care.
It's 2015.
It's 2015. You can glitter wherever you want to glitter. What is your favorite episode of Gilmore Girls? Casey wants to know.
Casey's coming in with the MVP questions.
The real questions.
The real questions. My favorite episode of Gilmore Girls. Oh, I have like a detailed top 20.
Oh, yeah? I think I've probably seen it on Tumblr.
Probably. Because I think in, like, lists.
Yes.
I don't know that I have a favorite, but maybe Rory's birthday parties in season 1. Because there's this scene where Emily and Richard go out into the car after they've been at the party and they saw, like, the townspeople and, like, this wonderful life that Lorelai has built for herself and Rory. And Emily's like, I don't know my daughter at all. And it's such a good moment, and I think it really sums up the show. So I would say that one.
I like that.
But, like, I'm a big Jess fan. So any episode he's in, I enjoy.
Okay. Great.
That's my answer.
What's your favorite Veronica Mars episode? Because this one I can actually discuss, because I haven't really seen Gilmore Girls. I've seen bits and pieces.
Well, the first and second season finales, I think, are really, really excellent.
Agreed.
Because they deal with, like, the mysteries are not a letdown, which is one of the good things about the show.
Did you, with either one, without spoiling, did you guess? Or
no.
Me either. Our cameraman guessed the season 2 answer, and I was shocked.
Season 2, like, I had more of an idea than in season 1. In season 1, they did a really good job.
So blindsided by season 1.
They, especially, like, they build sympathy sort of in a way that is completely, like, you think that they've already, like, turned over, like, that one's already been a red herring.
Yes.
And I think that's what's so good about it.
Glitter on me everywhere.
I really love the episode where, so, like, weirdly, my favorite character on that show is, like, Meg Manning.
Really?
Which is such a, like, odd favorite to have.
That is funny.
I don't know. I'm a sucker for that kind of character. So I really like the episode. Like a Virgin, there are a lot of, it's very, like, progressive in terms of its attitude toward, like, teenage female sexuality in a way that I think very few TV shows have ever done that. Because, like, even on Buffy, which was a pretty progressive show, it was like, oh no, I lost my virginity and now Angel's evil. Like, it still feels like punishment, whereas on this show they, like, completely flip it around and allow Veronica to be both, like, a victim of sexual abuse and assault, but also be, like, in control of her sexuality. And, like, so I think the way that it talks about sex and women and female friendships, this is also the episode where she meets Meg and Mac, and, yeah, so I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's good. If you haven't watched Veronica Mars, you should.
It's really good. Yeah.
I only recently started watching it, and I had heard all the hype, and it is worth the hype. It is very good.
And the one that I just mentioned, I mean, the pilot is great, so you should just start with the pilot. Yeah. But this one is, I think, a good intro to, like, the show and the way that it does its sort of case of the week.
Just be forgiving of the fashion choices at the beginning. Because that's all I could think. I was like, oh my god, what are these people wearing?
It's like a good pilot, and then it's the Paris Hilton episode.
And some of Veronica's hairstyles are, like, very early 2000s.
And, like, a really questionably executed episode about, like, transgender people, which, again, I think is really ahead of its time.
Which one is that?
The one with the video store.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's, like, not a very good episode, but I'm like, okay, that wasn't offensive. That was actually, like, pretty good.
I have a terrible memory. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I've seen this show, like, 200 times.
Many times.
Many times.
Favorite book you've read in 2015?
Have I read a book in 2015? I don't know. Have I? I don't think I have.
I have only read books because I've listened to them. Is this enough? I'm going to save this, actually.
I have read a book in 2015.
What did you read?
I read The Disaster Artist.
Yes, you recommended that.
Which one do you want?
To do this one. You recommended that.
It's really good. You guys should vote for it.
Fine. Everything's fine.
You guys should vote for The Disaster Artist
for Audiobook Club.
It's like, if anyone has seen the movie The Room, it's sort of about the behind the scenes, but it's about a lot more than that. It ends up being, like, a really, like, beautiful tale of a weird friendship between Tommy Wiseau and this guy Greg Sestero. And Greg Sestero is, like, a model, and Tommy Wiseau is, like, a lizard man of questionable origins. But it's like The Great Gatsby. Like, it's a really good story, and they're adapting it to film. They talk a lot
they
about
are.
the movie Sunset Boulevard, because it's sort of like, it borrows a lot. It's a real story, but, like, the way that it's told feels like just, like, a great novel. And they flip back and forth between filming The Room and their friendship, which has lasted for, like, 10 years.
Wow.
Or which had existed 10 years before they made the movie. It's fascinating.
That's really interesting.
And I recommend the audiobook, too, because it's narrated by Greg Sestero, and his Tommy Wiseau voice is so good. Yeah, man, I haven't read anything this year. I feel...
I honestly have a hard time reading. I've read more because of doing my audiobook club than, like, ever before. And I studied literature in school, and I think that's why, is because I got a little burned out.
Yeah, I mean, I graduated from college last year, and I feel like...
Yeah, you deserve a break.
I mean, I've read a lot of scripts, but...
That's true. That's what we spend a lot of time doing in
yeah, I feel like I read all the time, but yeah.
You end up... And scripts do not go quickly, for me at least.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, you're peeling the tape off.
Well,
Ooh.
I'm going to try and do, like, a multiple... We'll see how it works.
Oh.
Multiple stripes.
That looks
sort of
really
thing.
fancy.
Ooh. Thanks.
That turned out so well.
Well, I'm going to do one more and see how it goes. I like the outside, honestly, I think, better than the inside.
Yeah.
My inside still looks a little... I think
it's getting there, though.
It's getting there. Ooh, and this, like, not backlit, it looks good. Ta-da! Look at us!
Look at me!
What is your eyebrow routine?
Let them go.
I like that.
I tweeze a little bit down here because they get like moop.
Mm-hmm.
So I like, this is it's gonna be a big surprise. Ready?
Yeah.
I went to Barbizon.
What's Barbizon?
It's like a modeling school. They came to my high school, and I wanted to be a Disney Channel star.
I mean, who didn't?
It was a different time. I really wanted to be best friends with Demi Lovato.
Yeah, of course you did.
So I went to Barbizon.
That's how you do that.
I auditioned, but I'm pretty sure they let everybody in because they want your money.
Yes, probably.
And they were like, you have really nice eyebrows. And I was like, thank you. So I got in on the power of my brows, but they taught us how to tweeze. It was actually really helpful because it was like beauty gurus before beauty gurus were a thing. I didn't have people on the internet being like, contour.
You kids don't know how good you have it.
You have, like, built-in big sister on the internet.
Yeah.
So they were like, tweeze at your pupil, from your pupil, and then onward. Okay. And then that's... So
like, 3 rules. There's, like, the art should be here. Yeah. The end is there. And
yeah, exactly. So I've stuck to that, and so I tweeze, like, once a week.
There you go.
And it's kind of fun, because I'm like, bloop, 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 bloop.
It's kind of fun. I hate it, actually. It's so painful.
Oh, it doesn't hurt me anymore.
Forget... to do it. Well, my eyebrows are very light. I color them in fact, to match my hair color. And I, like, can't really see the little hairs until I get out and about in the world. And I'm like, oh my god, I didn't know you all were there. What are you doing? Get off.
You're not invited to this party.
You can't come tonight.
You can hang with us.
I did have a couple people just be like, how do you pursue writing? Do you have any... Besides our, like, just ask. Do you have any advice for people who maybe are burgeoning writers?
Right.
Do it.
Do it more. Do it more. Because I mean, you can write. Read a lot. You can find any pilot online, like any pilot. If you Google name of pilot PDF, it's almost the first thing that pops up, and you click on it, and you have it.
That's awesome.
So if you want to, like, read a script from your favorite show, you can read that. You should be writing pilots that are, like, original. You should be speccing shows that are currently on the air. And, yeah, that's what you should do, just as, like, to have samples. Make things with your friends.
Yeah, do it.
Even if they're, like, not good, you've made them and you know how to make things, and then the next thing you make will be better. For sure.
I agree.
And then sometimes it turns out pretty pretty good. And you're like, oh, wow, we made a pretty cool thing.
And don't be afraid to, like, show that or submit it or, like, whatever. Get it out there, you know?
Don't be afraid to make something that, like, isn't great.
Yeah, because everybody will make things that aren't great. It's just part of it.
My graduation project at U Chicago, I got really lucky because they're not super creative writing friendly in the English department. They want you to, like, write a critical BA. But I was like, hey, I want to write TV. I've done all this new media stuff, and I've written all these critical papers. Can I please write a screenplay? And they let me, and my BA advisor was this guy who had, like, written on Golden Girls, which was great. And they let me write a movie, which is cool because it's not, like, a filmy school at all.
That's awesome.
And it was bad. It was, like, pretty bad. And I don't really show it to people. But because I wrote it, I feel better about writing things now. And I'm like, whatever I write now will be better than that. And whatever I write after this will be better than that. And eventually it'll be good enough for me to show people.
Yeah.
So that's just write stuff.
Just do it.
And definitely asking people, again, for, like, help or for advice. Or just to, like, if you can make your own job opportunities if you just, like, ask enough people or ask the right people. Because people want help. Yeah.
That's true. Thanks, Taylor.
Well, I don't know. It feels weird to, like, speak with authority about anything.
Thanks, Zygote Taylor. You are. You have authority on your own experiences and circumstances. And I have a very glittery hand. With which I'm going to see what other questions we have. Top 3 people you'd want to work with who you haven't worked with before.
I don't know.
Yeah, those questions are hard.
Because it's like, there are people who are very much, like, kind of within reach who I would like to work with.
Sure.
Where it's, like, feasible. And then there are people that it's like, give it another 10 years, kid.
Who's your most 10 years?
Oh, God. I'm just thinking, Amy Acker.
Yeah, she's cool.
She's the person I most want to write for. She's just so good.
She's awesome.
You remind me a lot of her.
That's a really nice thing to say. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're, like, one of my favorite people to write for, because you can just, like, crush anything.
Whatever. Thank you.
It's true.
I remember when you, like, made that LBD... What?
I'm just... I had decided it would be a good idea to put my hand down in
the glitter. Glitter hand. I remember when you, like, made the LBD into the Buffy cast, or you cast us all, and you cast me as...
Fred?
Yes, which I haven't seen Angel, and I was like, what is this? And then Rachel was like, she's Amy Acker, like, that was a good thing. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, because, spoiler... Fred's character becomes a different character.
Right.
And it's awesome, and I would want to see you do that.
That's really cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. So much glitter. I have so much glitter on me. Have we done all our things?
I think so.
Should we show them?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to take this off. Why don't you show us
I'll show
what you have made while I'm doing this?
Green. Green. Weirdly executed stripy galaxy cup.
I love it.
Don't know what I'm going to use this for, but I'll figure it out. Weirdly executed galaxy cup. Alright. Glitter lid. That goes with the green, but it's not a good match. So, really...
Well done.
Really flubbed that.
No, you didn't. Oops,
You're very nice.
You did great.
And then look at how amazing hers look.
I just did this.
It looks so good.
It's kind of cute.
It's really cute.
Thanks. It worked out better than I was afraid it might. Ugh, except I'm messing it up. I'm trying to get the, like, extra Mod Podge off, but... So there's that. That has to dry. I made this one and a lid. Ta-da! It's pretty good. And then, while I am taking this tape off, is there anything you would like to, like, promote or tell us about before we go?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hosting a podcast called Pursued by Bear. It's not out yet, and it hopefully will be out soon-ish. We're trying to record a bunch before we release them so we can have, like, a schedule.
Yeah.
But it's cool. We're going to be interviewing a lot of very cool TV writers and
that's awesome.
producers and people from all walks of the entertainment industry, and it'll be great. We already had our first interview, and it's someone pretty cool.
Oh, yeah? Ooh.
Yeah, so we talked to one of the writers on The 100, and we're gonna be doing a lot of cool stuff with sci-fi people.
And where can people find you online?
I'm on Twitter at TH Brogan, or
Brogan.
The Brogan. Because my middle name is H. And then, I don't know where else. Just Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter's your main jam. You got some good tweets going on over there.
Thank you.
You do. They're good tweets.
Oh man, that looks so good.
Finished,
God.
not quite dry.
This is unfair.
Well, the top was maybe not the best idea, but
no, it looks really cool.
How
it's like a crop top.
That
vase is like Taylor Swift.
It is. So I haven't quite. I did a little layer of Mod Podge over the bottom here, and I'm going to do that on the rest just to seal it. But I haven't done that yet, but I will be doing that later. And I'm going to figure out something to do with all this glitter. Well, thank you, Taylor, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
I hope any of this was interesting.
It was so interesting, and I think people will really enjoy it. So thank you for sharing your insight and your glitter hand.
Hey.
Until next time, stay sparkly.